Memorial Committee. You could have had anyone to speak here tonight. So I am grateful, honored, and humbled that you gave me the opportunity just to share a few things with you. I went to a public speaking class once, and they said that the best thing that you can do is tell them what you're going to tell them, be brief, and then be gone. So I'm going to share it this way. As the famous, beautiful actress Elizabeth Taylor said to her last husband that we know of, I don't plan to keep you long. To do this, I'm going to ask the help of the New Haven firefighters. You get to order me around today. 7 minutes, and I need a signal. So, all right? You got me? Excellent. He's got the hook. It is important to remember. It is important for us never to forget those who have given the ultimate sacrifice. We must never forget them. We must never forget their families. As I saw Pastor Crawley get up and I saw his paper, I wanted to steal his notes because there is something that reminds me of a passage, and I don't know where it comes from, but it says that there is a season for everything. There is a season to build up, a season to tear down, a season to sow, a season to reap, a time to live, and a time to die. Each of those who have sacrificed their lives in the line of duty, and we used to watch those numbers. We started counting in the 70s. There was a movie out, actually a documentary on the fire service. You remember it was The Bronx is Burning or something like that. And we started to look at the numbers of firefighters. And on average, 100, maybe 110 firefighters died every year. That trend continued into the 80s and 90s. We had better building construction codes, better equipment, SCBAs, better techniques, but we still died at the same rate. Sure, there were spikes. We can't forget about 9/11 or West Texas. Yeah, there were instances where it was tragic in our service, where we lost a large number at one time. But that average of 100 to 100 firefighters every year, decade after decade, what were we doing wrong? You know what it was? It is the same culture, it is the same behavior that makes us want to be firefighters that we can't adapt and change. We have to do things right away. We have to do them now. We make sure that there's no discretionary time. We think that our way is better. I was home for my anniversary last week, and I got my old helmet from rescue, and I looked at it. It was the helmet I wore at 9/11. In fact, I had it in the car. I was going to bring it not as a prop, but to say the person that used to wear that helmet thought he was invincible, thought he could do anything at any time. None of us goes to work or goes to a job thinking that might be our last time. But we have to change that. We have to now remember, because each of those persons that gave the ultimate sacrifice, since the last horse did his business on the apparatus floor, we have to make sure that we do things differently. We have to make sure that we remember our families. I remember that young firefighter wearing that helmet would jump from one roof to another, giving no concern of how much extra weight I was carrying, not like today, and also never even take into account that that roof would hold me. Because at that time I thought I could do anything. And we have that sense. We have to be concerned. I see a lot of gold braided here. It's a different game now. Firefighters are going into fires that are burning hotter and faster than you and I ever went into in the 80s and 90s. We have to be concerned about that. We have to change. We have to ensure, as you said, that we don't put more names on that memorial. But it is also important for us to memorialize those who have gone. Those who have gone have paved the way for us. They have changed codes. They have changed techniques. Many of our policies and decisions and SOGs are written on tombstones and in blood. We don't want their sacrifices to be in vain. What we must tell these new firefighters is that you have to be sure that you are properly trained, properly outfitted, part of a team, and have an assignment. That's going to ensure their safety. And it is our responsibility as we wear these extra bugles. It is our responsibility to ensure that that happens. And when it doesn't happen, take the appropriate action. Making sure that you wear your seatbelt on the job. I can remember riding the back step. I can remember that. Were those the glory days? Yeah, because as a kid I grew up seeing firefighters waving at me from the back step. The most dangerous place to be in the fire service right now. We have to be concerned about that. Where's the chief? He's 90 years old. Did you ever put your hand through that leather strap riding in the back? Holding on? Yes, sir. 90 years old. We have to know now that we must make sure that our people are safe. That when they come in the morning, tomorrow and Wednesday, we're having a lecture from two of our doctors who assist called Managing Stress. And if you're in the New Haven area tomorrow, I would challenge you to be there. Because we're losing firefighters for a different reason now. Firefighters are committing suicide. Firefighters are being involved in the opioid epidemic. We're burning some of our people out responding to these places over and over and over again, reviving the same patients over and over again. We have to be concerned when our people come in, that when we send them home the next day or at the end of that shift, that they're going back to their families the same or better than when they walked in. And if we haven't done that, we haven't done them the service. And we fail to remember the sacrifices of those that we honor tonight. I'm going to take my seat, but I think we ought to do everything that we can to build up that memorial. We should do everything that we can to solicit the funds to build up that memorial so that we honor those that sacrificed for us so that we could do this job a lot better. We should go tonight to our beds respectively and think of their families and their sacrifice and remind our loved ones that we love them, because no one went to work that day thinking that they weren't going to come back home. Hold on to that. Enjoy the night. Let's regale. In every culture, it says, if you say the names of persons who have gone before, they live again for that instant. They live again. So think about those who are on the wall, those who you've lost, firefighters that you've lost in the past. Remember them tonight. Speak kindly of them. Tell the stories of jumping from one roof to another, but tell the stories, because for that instant and for that time, they live again. God bless you. Get home safe.